over that wall. Oh, that doo-doo, man.
I'm getting married soon and I'm facing a heartbreaking situation. I was raised primarily by my mom. She worked hard, gave up a lot, and did the best she could. My father was in my life, but he was not consistent. However, my paternal grandmother was also very involved. She helped raise me and kept a connection between me and my dad's side of the family, even when he wasn't around. Over the last few years, my father has tried to show up more, and I've slowly rebuilt a relationship with him. I would like both of my parents to feel included on my wedding day. I decided I wanted my dad to walk me down the aisle. When I told my mom, she was hurt. She said it felt like a betrayal after all she sacrificed. Then she gave me an ultimatum. If he walks you down the aisle, I won't be at your wedding.
Damn.
I feel torn. I understand her pain, truly I do, but I also don't want to erase the other parts of my story, even the complicated ones. I don't want to look back and feel like I made this choice out of guilt instead of love. Amanda, what do I do? That's so cute. Did they really say that?
It was Marie.
It was Ask Amanda.
They never put my name in there. He said it was Ask Amanda.
Oh my God.
I think moms is tripping.
Deep.
Yeah, I understand her pain. I don't really understand that there's like a pain though. I would hope that she would be like happy for the rebuilt relationship with her and the father, because it didn't say that he was like completely absent. Like just, I don't know what the reason for being in and out and not consistent was, but you know, she was still close with his side of the family
because of the grandma.
Because of the grandmother.
Because of her daddy.
I know. But it's not even the mother's job to walk the bride down the aisle. So I don't know why she feels like something was taken from her.
Because she's played the masculine role in raising the child by herself.
For the most part, but she could still have a role in the wedding.
Oh, I
but
agree.
that part can still be his.
I think that
I don't think that the ultimatum should have been given.
I think if there's someone who should have had a role, it should have been the dad. Meaning, oh, you know how somebody's not in your bridal party, but you still want them to be involved, you make them an usher, something like that. But I can understand the mom's like hurt feelings. She's like, he wasn't around, I was around, I did, I moved mountains to raise you. But then he waltzes in a couple years ago, and now you want to give him the place of the person that did all the hard work. So I can understand her being mad. Maybe not giving an ultimatum. Not even mad, I'm sorry. I can understand her giving an ultimatum. I don't understand her giving an ultimatum, but I understand her being hurt. And I understand how when people are hurt.
But the conversation should be, is that all right what she's doing, right? I feel like everybody's just talking around that. The mother thinking that she can give ultimatum because she don't like what her daughter is doing is crazy, right? The father came back and she was trying to build a relationship with him. And now the mother's saying, if he tries to walk you down the aisle, I'm not coming. She made this about herself. That's what that was. If that was the case, you should already had this like anger or decision thing. She should have already did that before the wedding. The years that when they were building their relationship back up, you should have gave that ultimatum then. But now you're giving it at the wedding? No, you go to hell. Somebody tell her to kick rocks.
They do stuff like that, know.
Okay. I understand what you're saying, because also you are right. She was the one that primarily raised her. She should be the one to give her away. I do get that. And the father should be the person to have the other role. Whatever other role he is able to play in the wedding, he could do that. But if you're that hurt by it, like, I raised you, I should be the one doing this, you would want to be there. I think giving the ultimatum is just...
It's a form of manipulation and control. That's what it is. She's believing because I raised you, when I give you this ultimatum, you should choose me. That's a form of emotional manipulation. That's what that is.
She's not there. She wants to walk her child down the aisle, right? I just want to make sure.
No, but the ultimatum was that if the father does it, she's not showing up.
Okay, walk down the aisle.
She won't be there.
But it's just like if you're that hurt because you know the role that you played in your daughter's life, you want to be there. So don't give the ultimatum for there to be an option for you not to be there at all.
Did they in the story, because I didn't follow that part, did they in the story say when the mom and dad broke up?
No. That was
So
definitely
she
not
could have
it.
been carrying this bitterness for how long till she got married? Is that what you're saying? Like she could still be bitter and the child's now married? They could have he could have
Bitter about the dad?
Yeah.
About him not
But
being
that's
there,
not the
about
point
their
of the
relationship?
story. The breakup,
It's
their
never the point
breakup.
of the story
No,
when-
well, their breakup isn't.
Y'all do this with these women and like, oh my God, yo. It's
Wait, but hold on. That's
it's
not-
always, oh my God.
The mother
man
and
comes
the
back in
father's
and now it's a
relationship
problem.
isn't the point of the story.
You got it.
The daughter and the father's relationship is the point of the story.
Why is a daughter and a father's relationship that way? Were things put in
Because
that
he
man's
was
ear?
absent.
Why-
He wasn't
why was he
consistent.
absent? Why did he have an opportunity to be
So
consistent?
you're saying that the mother has to be
Saying
the
there's more
reason
information left out by the woman writing into the Ask
that
Amanda.
you would like to add in there, I'm sure.
Yeah, but we have to take into consideration the
course.
fact that there is something high. There is a very, very prominent fact that was stated here is that she wants her father to do it, which means that there is a relationship or a desire between her and her father that surpasses the desire of the mother to walk her down, although the father was not there for whatever reason that is.
Does it say?
So
Well-
just make a decision.
No, I think, in my opinion, from what I've actually seen, as long as the father isn't like a terrible person, I mean, he might not be a responsible one. There might be things that might have happened. I'm not making an excuse for him, but when it comes to a father and a daughter, it's so hard to get in between that, even if there's distance. As a mother, as a outside party, doesn't matter who you are. When that daughter, especially if she never feels wronged by him, other than the fact that he might have not been there at times.
Other than the fact that he wasn't there.
I'm like,
Yeah,
that's
like, when
a
I mean-
big fact.
Well, no, like there's
It's like,
there-
oh, he's a
there's
good guy,
way,
except he was a pedophile.
there's way.
That comparison was terrible, what you just said. I don't understand how she thought that made sense. The father not being there, the daughter can know why the father not being there, and that's why she's perfectly fine with building the relationship back and having him walk her down the aisle. I don't see what the piece that's missing in y'all heads when it comes to this situation. Once again, the conversation is the mother is trying to put her child in a full Nelson, emotional full Nelson,
With a full Nelson on Cedric Alexander. The Hurt Business.
and saying, if you let him do this, I will not be attending. Now, me, myself, I'm part of the, ayo, do whatever you want. I'm part of that team. But let's not just run around saying that this guy is a bad guy or alluding that he's a bad person because he wasn't there. That's why the other guy said, there's information that's being left out. I need to know the information.
Way worse. And she also probably understands because she's lived with her mother. So she understands how her mother is. And, she could probably say, hey, listen, I'm not even going to add it. But what I'm going to say is that
He's at it. He's at it.
All right. So,
I think, add it.
so if a daughter, and this is my opinion, if a daughter still craves that desire from her father, even though he was not there consistently, she lives with her mother. She understands who her mother is as a person and as a woman, and she understands the difficulty that her mom could have played, or that role that she could have played with her father, which could have led to the distance, could have led to the separation, and she now sees her mother's flaws. Now, if the father may have been distant at times, but he was still there to some degree, and he's
That's
never
not what it said.
I just like y'all. I just
But
want
it
y'all to
also
keep
said
the
that the
story
grandma
Like-
was keeping it
That's-
together.
yes,
Yeah.
That part of the
let's
family.
stick with the
But
facts.
even if so even if the
Of the
grandma was keeping it
situation.
together, the fact that it is together, right? Like even if we're not taking accountability from him not being there. That is actually a very minuscule thing to what is being prompted.
Wait, him not being there is minuscule?
To this, yes.
Basically, he's
because
saying
she's
that
overriding
not
it
saying that
herself.
that's
Yes.
as important.
Yeah,
but I do see that like she's caught in between.
She's really not caught in between because she's really leaning to one side.
Hey.
She wants.
She want a decision. Hold your
You didn't have to say that as a lady. You didn't have to say that, but whatever.
And make an ultimatum. Either your mama gonna be there or your daddy gonna be there, period. And
Which is
you
fucked
deal
up.
with it. No, it's not.
It is.
It
Why are
is.
you
It's
putting
not-
your in that position?
At her marriage.
No, this is I agree with that. This is supposed to be like the happiest day of her life.
Who on here is married?
Who wants but
Who on here is married?
Oh, my.
I'm
That's
married.
all I gotta
married-
say.
I'm married.
Yeah,
to
but
the
you
man
have a
above.
different kind of attitude, so we can't really trust your
do you mean
judgment
different kind of
100%.
I'm married to this story, so
In the end of the day, like my parents are not married. There's been drama my entire life, but my dad has always been there, and my mom is who she is. You know what I'm saying? But I have a relationship with my dad. If my daddy was sorry and wasn't around, you don't get the privilege of walking me down the aisle.
Why are you You're doing it again. She can't stop herself. You keep saying that this guy is sorry or this guy is bad. Stop saying that. Y'all just tried to say that these two over here, we need to stay with the facts. Where in this story did the daughter say that the father was a terrible person? Where in this story did she say that he was a bad person? Not being there don't make you a bad person. I'm gonna just use an example. So if I'm not in my child's life because for some reason the courts have gave her full custody of the child, every time I show up there is gangs of guys outside who attempt to do inappropriate things to me. Cause that's all she like to hang out with is those guys. You know, they're guys with wigs and stuff like that. Like, so they like, ooh, and they just try to touch me all the time. You're saying I'm a bad person because I said I'm not showing back up. It was extreme. I don't care. It's to show you that the fact that you are just full out saying that he's a bad person for not being there is crazy. You don't even care about the context. You're just gonna just say it.
That is a
Was he sorry, though?
hold on. He wasn't there. I'm sorry if you don't raise your kids and you're not there. You sorry. You are sorry. That's what you are. You understand?
Well, you're wrong, so.
If you are not there and you got a relationship 2 or 3 years ago, cool. He should be a part of it. He should be there. But I think if you were so set in.
And first off, what she just said, he wasn't there consistently. So once again, you added something else in.
My father was in my life, but he was not consistent. However,
wanting him to walk you down the aisle, cool. Let that be your choice. Sit in it, be comfortable with it, and be okay with your mama not being there. That it is what it is. Like, we're making a whole bunch of excuses. You're an adult. You're getting married. You want your daddy to walk you down the aisle? Let him do it. But it's to the expense of your mother not being there.
which should
She's entitled to her feelings. She's
wrong.
entitled to being hurt after she done moved mountains and then X, Y, and Z for.
Why are you now saying she moved mountains? What is this? All you're doing is painting the guy in a bad light. How you don't get upset with this person? This guy wasn't in her life. You're sorry. And the mother, you should be all right with making the decision. You're a grown woman. The mother moved mountains. The mother fought crime. The mother was like Superman. Every time something almost happened to you, she stood in a way and bullets shot off her chest.
Please, Mummy, save me. Mummy's coming, little Billy. Save me.
She's just making stuff up. If they do it, it's a problem.
For you, period.
Could the father say the same thing?
What mountains did he move when he wasn't there?
You don't know why he wasn't there.
Thank you.
I
The
think
mother might not
everybody's
have his
entitled to
input.
how
We
they
don't
feel.
Yeah, she's
But
quiet.
still, she needs
You
to
never
make a
need to-
decision
we don't need to
Don't
know.
based off what
No.
she wants.
You're right.
You don't need to know because
You don't need to know why the father isn't there. That was dumb what they just said. You don't need to know why the father isn't there. Why she keep painting the father in a bad light. It doesn't matter if the father left because the lady who has custody of a child attempted to poke him with a poker.
Come over here. I'm going to stab you.
What? No, we're not coming over there.
It doesn't matter, right? If he felt mentally, spiritually, I don't even like to say spiritually, but mentally, spiritually, and physically threatened at all times with that lady, it doesn't matter, right? Doesn't matter. Whatever.
end of the day, I'm sorry, maybe y'all daddies are different, but it ain't no woman, my mama included, who was gonna keep my daddy away from me.
Whatever the reason is just an excuse.
Okay, so anecdotal. No one cares about your life in this situation. No one cares.
It could have been the mother and the breakup. It could have been anything. but he chose not to be around his kid. That's on him. It doesn't matter why.
So you
Can
got
somebody keep you from your kids?
no,
Oh my God.
But I'm,
No, that's
I'm
the end.
dangerous.
Not all men are like that.
Not a lot of men are dangerous. I'm dangerous. So there's a big difference between me
No,
and
it's
the
not.
Yes,
At
the
end
hell
of the
it
day,
is.
If you were somebody, if you want to be with your kids, you will make it happen. I'm sorry.
Here's
So you're saying if he would have got her arrested by putting white stuff in her car and then having her sent to prison for multiple years, we would have been perfectly fine with that. Or what everybody would say, you could have took a different route. Shut up. Y'all don't like the way that everyone chooses to do this thing. So guess what? Some guys just choose to just check out. If they don't do what you want them to do, there's a problem now. I don't care what they're saying. Me, myself, I already said multiple times what would happen. If you try to keep me from my kid or you take my child, I'll let you know right now, me, what I'm gonna do is you gonna be serving like 10 years, my dear. Something gonna happen. I ain't gonna tell you, but something gonna happen. You ain't finna just take mine. I'm the bad guy when I say that. But then I'm also the bad guy when I say, fine, then I'm not gonna be around. You just want me to do what you want me to do. That's it.
eye-opening fact is this. She still wants her father there, which means whatever her mother has done wasn't enough. Which
Nah,
means
that's not what it means.
What do you mean? Whoever her mother is to her wasn't enough. Because if you're looking at it from a perspective, which I can understand. Now, if you didn't raise your child for whatever reason, I don't co-sign with you. I do think that you're a lame individual.
He could have been an usher.
But what I'm saying is
God.
that child is, or adult, has a relationship with that father that has not been fully explained here, but it is very telling that the relationship is strong enough for her to consider her own mother not potentially being at her wedding, who was there.
That's the thing. I don't disagree with you. I think if that feeling is so strong, you feel so strongly about your daddy being there.
Stick to it.
Let him be there.
And, and it's going to be to the exclusion of your mama. Then make your choice and stand in it. We don't want to hear about, oh, well, maybe the mom did this, blah, blah, blah. Who gives a f? You make a decision because that is what adults do. I can guarantee you at my wedding, if I said, if my mama didn't agree with my choice, baby, it's your choice to be there or not. Because you know what's going to happen? The wedding's still going to go on. That's what's going to happen. So, old girl, you need to make a decision and stick by it. And if that changes the relationship with your mama, then so be it, because that is a choice you made.
And the choice she made too.
They're not going to talk about what the mama did. Like, that's what I mean. You see, they're going around what the mother did. The ultimatum. That's what they keep trying to go around and say, my dear, you need to be an adult and make a decision. That's true. But let's not just skate past the fact what the mother did. Like, what is this? Y'all gonna just keep going around it?
Well, okay.
And I think that she has way more respect for her mom and her upbringing to not have her mom not be at the wedding, to be honest.
That's why she's
who has never been
deliberating.
married. What are you talking about? What respect?
No, because
She's
the beginning
leaning towards
she
the side
no,
of her
but well, she first of all, before she said that she decided she wanted her father to walk her down the aisle, she said that I want both of my parents to be included on my wedding day.
Of course.
So it doesn't have to be that role, but she started off this whole situation telling us that she was raised primarily by her mom and that her mom worked hard, gave up things, blah, blah. Like, she knows everything that her mom did for her.
She's trying to justify her mother's reasoning for giving her an ultimatum, although she's still on the fence. And even with all that she's did,
That sounds
there's
true.
still this other side of the spectrum that she's still leaning towards or still caught in between that has enough force to keep her from absolutely going with her mother's ultimatum.
I think it's the fact that she didn't have a daddy. So now daddy's around. You're going to crave that. She been craving for daddy.
I was about to say, I think that she...
What? See what I mean? That's fentanyl.
So y'all can paint narratives, but when they paint a narrative, it's a problem. They just keep doing it. Because she didn't have a daddy, this is why this is happening. You don't know that. She don't know any of that information she just said. She just came up with it. But if they do it, it's a problem. I'm sorry, I'm getting triggered. I'm getting so triggered right now.
She wants that, like, father walking her down the aisle.
She wants that experience. She just want to miss out on it.
She just wants that experience, and she's not thinking about what that would mean for her mom.
It couldn't be critical thinking.
What do you mean?
There's no way that she could have seen, like he said, what has gone on with her and her mother in the relationship, and seen like, okay, there could be another side to the situation, and that's why she kept the relationship with her father, and now she's making a decision as an adult.
But if it's important, why she didn't include that? Because what she did include
Oh
was that my
God.
mama did this, my mama did that, my mama did this, my mama did that, and I love her and I appreciate her for it.
She worked hard, gave up a lot, and did the best she could.
You finished?
But if that was important, why didn't she include it?
He probably didn't tell her the story. Most men don't tell their kids the story, their side.
No, but what y'all are saying is that she saw something, right? She knows something about the relationship that her mom had with her dad.
No,
So-
that's not what I'm saying. No, that's not what I'm saying. She knows the relationship that she's had with her mother.
Exactly.
But what does that mean? My mama don't act with me like she acted with my daddy.
That's you. Why you keep using your life and then putting it on everybody else? What is this?
I don't act with my husband like I act with Amanda or my brother. These are totally different relationships. Why would she, if she's a nutcase, if she thinks that her relationship with her mom is going to similarly reflect her mom's relationship with her daddy?
She may have never seen her mom with a man.
Nah, I'm not gonna let y'all just skate past that. So she's telling me right now she's never heard of the situations where mothers literally say to their sons that you look like your daddy and have a problem with it. She's literally telling me she's never seen those situations. Not even seen. I'll tell you this, maybe you didn't see. You never heard of those situations. You don't think a lady who is willing to wait until her daughter's wedding to give her an ultimatum like this, you don't think that lady is somewhat traumatized where she would do something just out of line? Almost anybody that does something like that, you gonna wait until it's the daughter's wedding and then you gonna let her keep on. Well, I don't know if you was all right with it, but you're not gonna do this thing you're doing right now when she first start talking to the father. You're a manipulator. You're a manipulator that wants what you want. If you're a manipulator that wants what you want and you're even willing to put emotional stress on your daughter or son, it don't matter which one, I don't find it surprising that you would do it when they were younger as well. All right, just being honest.
That's what I'm saying. So she shouldn't even have an idea.
So she's only have the idea of who her mom has displayed that she is to her. She doesn't have a comparison to say, okay, all right, maybe I had another man in the house, whether my mother was.
We don't know that.
Yeah.
We don't know that. That's not in the story.
Y'all gonna do it again. This is crazy. We gotta follow one type of track. There's only one. Stop hopping off. Either we gonna go by what only been written in the story and no narratives, or we can go narrative crazy. You just gotta put some facts around your narrative, which I'm not gonna act like they haven't been doing. They just keep paying narratives and then being hypocrites.
She just said that her dad wasn't around. We don't know if she's never seen her mom date another man. We don't know that.
Well, we also don't know a lot of other things that we're assuming too.
I'm not assuming. That's y'all.
We are assuming that he was never there, primarily, and never there.
She said that he was not consistent.
That does not mean never.
That doesn't
there.
mean never.
That could
He
mean,
never said
And that
Hold on. He wasn't there. I'm sorry. If you don't raise your kids and you're not there, you sorry. You sorry. You a sorry. That's what you are.
You literally said a guy who isn't there. A guy who isn't there is what she called him. She didn't call him a loser. See, oh yeah, he ain't.
was never out of here.
Yes, you've made it all seem like he was never there. Inconsistent can mean once a month.
Girl, let your daddy walk you down
And now she's gonna try to go past it.
out, and then you deal with your consequences later. That's all I gotta say. Because we going back and forth over some and over like facts or instances that y'all just interjecting into this story that are not even relevant nor are they true. I think it's the fact that she didn't have a daddy, so now daddy's around. You're gonna crave that. She been craving.
Yeah, I was about to say. I think that she.
The door.
So clearly, you want your daddy to be there. You don't want to make him an usher. You don't want to make him like a flower bearer or whatever the little boys do. Like you want him to be the star of the show.
Now he's
See, there you go. There you go. She did it again. We know whose side she's on right now. She can act like she's just saying, hey, yo, you need to be a grown woman and choose. That's not what she's saying. She's saying, all right, you don't care that you're hurting your mother's heart. So guess what? Make your decision and be all right with hurting your mother who did everything for you. And if she wasn't there, you would be a crackhead. That's what she's doing right now. This is also a form of emotional manipulation.
Is a star. That
No, it is a show.
No, that is.
No,
Hold
you
on.
are the star of the show because you know who walks. First of all, we're gonna say traditionally the bride is the star of the show.
Thank you.
What person walks with the star of the show?
the woman that raised her.
No. What, no.
Go with your mom.
What person?
Go with your mother, yo.
That's crazy how you just gonna say who walks with the star of the show? Who sits at the tables by the star of the show? Who reads the Bible to the star of the show? What are you talking about? The star of the show is the bride. If you want to say another star, actually it's two stars. It's the bride and it's the groom.
Oh, so nobody want to answer now? Who?
The father usually does it.
Thank you. So now you want to give him
She's
that.
gonna shoehorn
cool,
this
that's what
in.
he want to be. Cool, do it. Because you have so much conviction.
Well,
I
he's
think
passing
that-
her,
And you deal with your choices.
he's passing her to the next man, which is what he's supposed to do.
Passing her for what? He wasn't even there to like when my
She said it again. He wasn't even there. Let's see if low cut Dennis Rodman, let's see if she says anything.
daddy walked me down the aisle. He was confident in what my husband was gonna be able to do and provide. My daddy literally told me, he said, I was never, because I've always lived away from Houston. He's like, I never felt comfortable or safe with you being somewhere in another state, in another city until you were married. He said, while you were living this place and that place, I never had a good night's sleep. And he was also binging on, was it 24 hours or whatever that crime show is? The first 48, yeah. No, he was. Like when I was living in Miami, he would
All right, Wig, nobody really cares. I would like to see B. Simone 2.0 say something.
be like scared shitless. I was like, Daddy, I live in a nice area. It's okay. But anyway, what I'm saying is that if it really means that much to you, then make your choice. Don't be writing in us. Girl, you know what you want to do. Just make your choice. Because at the end of the day, you know how easy of a choice this is? And when you look at the grand scheme of life, this is what you choose to write in about?
Her emotions are getting in the way,
Amanda,
though.
was she asking who should she choose? What was the actual
It's
question?
not. Make your decision, child.
Stop listening to Wig over here, okay? She's crazy.
Make it.
She said, okay, what did
You know
she
how many
say?
tough decisions we make?
She really
in a
just
day?
said, Amanda,
She
what
just
should I do?
keeps talking.
But she said she doesn't want to erase other parts of the story, even though she feels like, I don't want to look back and feel like I made this choice out of guilt instead of love. Well, what is there to feel guilty about?
I think
What is the
guilty about
question?
the
The question
mom.
is just
Thank you. Are these two even paying any attention to anything? Say, what is to feel guilty about? The mother said that she had an ultimatum. She's gonna leave. The mother is going to not be at her marriage. That's the thing she feel guilty about because she wants her father there. So that means one or the other one going to feel some type of way about this. So she's gonna feel guilty. These two heifers are actually retarded. I'm sorry. That's what it sounds like to me.
what you should do.
What should she do? Because her mom gave her an ultimatum. So what should she do?
Okay.
I think she needs to do what she feels called to do, ultimately. Like, it is uncomfortable to be in a situation like that, and I think she's writing because, like, emotionally, she's caught in the middle.
She's definitely a Capricorn.
She's definitely caught in the middle, and it's uncomfortable.
I wouldn't, to be honest, if I was her, giving the facts that I was giving from this story, I wouldn't feel caught in the middle because I was raised by my mother primarily. I grew up with my mother. I am now rebuilding a relationship with my father. That is an easy choice for me. My mother is not going to be at my wedding.
Exactly.
But I feel like it's also because
Like,
Hold on.
I agree
That's
with you.
what was said.
She said she.
That's
I
what
agree
was
with you.
said. Hold on. Let
I
me
knew
find
it.
the sentence. She says, over the last few years, my father has tried to show up more, and I've slowly rebuilt a relationship with him.
And few is 3. Just FYI.
There you go. I was waiting for it. Big screen. Yep, I was waiting for it. B. Simone 3.0. I'm going to choose my mother. I'm going to tell my father he can't walk down the aisle. They don't care about the facts. That's why when the guy with the black hat was saying, do you know why he wasn't there? It's not said. Well, I need to know that because that's very serious. When they kept trying to tell you, we got to just go with what the story is saying. No, you don't. When you give advice, I want you heifers to know when you give advice, you need context because you could be giving really bad advice, okay? If a lady told you she wants to leave her husband because he keeps knocking her head between the washer and dryer, you would say, yeah, you should probably leave. Based off what you just said, yeah, if he keep knocking your head between washer and dryer, you should leave. But guess what happens when you add context? The context is he keep knocking her head between the washer and dryer because she steals money. She also puts her finger in his behind when he goes to sleep. You heard how the context just changed that whole thing? Context, right? They don't care. And one put wigs on, space goggles on, and then also wear jogger jackets. She just do whatever she wants to do. Beast Mode 3.0, to me, is slightly attractive. It's just that what you did with your hair is crazy. I don't like that. Take that out your hair. That looks wild. But yeah, this video, man, Rico, don't you ever say anything about like Capricorns or whatever again, okay? Grown man decision making over here, okay? Grown man talk. We don't do that stuff. What's wrong with you? Brother with a black hat, I support you. I don't know your name yet, but I support you.
Oh, you ain't know what that was? Oh, that's doo-doo, baby.